So
you want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through.
What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
About the way they're portraying Jay right now.
The things that they're saying, they're terrible. It's hard for me to even think that any of those things can be true. I don't want them to be true. They're saying they're going to pick him up next year. I don't want to see that man go to jail.
In a surprising turn of events, Diddy Combs is now under federal indictment for sex trafficking and other illegal activities. He has been denied bail twice and is currently held in a detention center known for its harsh conditions. Speculation arises that his desperation might lead him to reveal secrets about the music industry, potentially implicating a longtime friend and business partner. This scandal has sent shockwaves through the industry, especially as allegations against Diddy also involve Jay-Z. The phrase "freak-offed" has become linked to the recent claims of Diddy's alleged misconduct.
Via Discord, the name of the video is 5 minutes ago, Jay-Z in trouble as Diddy turns him in during confession. Jay-Z. Alright, this is a video coming from the channel Eric's. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
For Jay-Z set to appear in court.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
What?
It's 2020, y'all.
Bro, how true is that? Like, have you heard that before? I've never heard that. Jay-Z, you think Jay-Z is the person orchestrating all of this? Is that the overall theory here?
Different than
what?
When it was.
And he said days long, they called them freak-offs where victims, and they were allegedly forced to sleep with male dudes. I sent you this video. I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen.
These complex events, often described as drug-fueled orgies involving prostitution, have led to significant legal issues for Diddy. A dramatic report indicates he may be cooperating with prosecutors to negotiate a lighter sentence by implicating his longtime friend and fellow music mogul, Jay-Z.
We're being shopped around in Hollywood, and there are some stills that have been caught of somebody that is higher profile of Diddy, and the name that immediately comes to me is Jay-Z. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, attorney for new Sean Diddy Combs accuser, says that she's been contacted regarding the sale of one of Diddy's tapes. There already has been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they was in possession of. Mitchell Kidd, the lawyer, would not reveal who was in the tape, but says Diddy and someone more high profile could be seen. The other person in the video is very visible, and I can tell the video was pornographic. This was in his Atlanta home, definitely a man, and it does seem that the person isn't looking into the video. To me, it doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. Insanity. The celeb contacted this attorney, and she's seen stills from the tape where the celebrity in question was secretly recorded, and they're more famous than Diddy. So this is a shocking accusation.
The allegations against Diddy depict him as a powerful figure who used his influence and resources to orchestrate and hide numerous illegal activities. These so-called freak-offs were not casual get-togethers. They were carefully planned events that could span several days, complete with lighting, cameras, and supplies to create the right atmosphere. Prosecutors allege that Diddy, along with his assistant managers and security staff, arranged for women and male prostitutes to attend these gatherings, providing items like baby oil and lubricant.
Alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient.
Diddy is facing serious charges, including sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and interstate transportation for prostitution. These allegations threaten not only his career, but also his freedom, following raids at his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Authorities seized drugs, weapons, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The evidence collected during these operations is crucial for the federal indictment against him.
Indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit.
Federal prosecutors have constructed a compelling case against Diddy, portraying him as someone who had dark secrets behind his lavish lifestyle. The evidence indicates he worked with a network of accomplices to organize these freak-offs, recruiting participants, stocking hotel rooms, and ensuring everything ran smoothly. One of the most concerning pieces of evidence is recordings of these events, allegedly used to blackmail attendees into silence. These tapes not only document a
victim of his sexual abuse and recorded certain of those calls under the cell phone, using the cell phone of a co-conspirator. During the calls, the defendant repeatedly asked for the victim's support and friendship and attempted to convince the victim that she had willingly engaged in acts constituting sexual abuse. The defendant also assured the victim that if she needed the defendant to, she ain't got to worry about nothing else. Quote, even more concerning since learning about the criminal investigation, including following the execution of the search warrants at his residences, Combs contacted other witnesses on multiple occasions, including other witnesses who had received grand jury subpoenas, basically accusing him of obstruction. And by the way, the prosecution also points out that many of the crimes that Combs is accused of happened in his home. So putting him on house arrest, they would say, doesn't do much to mitigate potential wrongdoing inside his residence. Now they talk about the weight of the evidence, how much they have. Remember I said there wasn't a lot in the indictment? Well, here they talk about the weight of the evidence as a factor to consider in whether to deny bail. Quote, as to witnesses, to date, the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced the defendant's abuse. Many of these witnesses corroborate one another, and their accounts are consistent with the other types of evidence discussed below. The government only expects that number to continue to grow, given that the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing. And also, the prosecution revealed in its filing that the government has seized more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, a surveillance system that they say shows this criminal.
The case against Diddy took a major turn with the lawsuit filed by his longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Her allegations serve as a blueprint for the Southern District of New York's investigation, claiming that Diddy directed her in sexually explicit acts with others while he watched and masturbated. Cassie's detailed account has given prosecutors a vital foundation to bolster their case.
54-year-old mogul who, behind his lavish lifestyle, allegedly hid a dark secret. According to the indictment, the agents found weapons, including AR-15 style rifles, in Diddy's closet. The serial numbers were defaced. They also say they found recordings of freak-offs. And the evidence was then used to blackmail these women if they didn't cooperate more.
Diddy's longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filing a lawsuit against them last year that changed everything.
He would direct her how to touch the sex worker, how to pour oil over her body, and he would watch these things happen while he was masturbating.
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit gave the blueprint for the Southern District of New York to investigate Sean Combs, and the lawsuits that followed gave the brick and mortar to build.
Although Cassie's lawsuit was settled within 24 hours, it encouraged many other victims to step forward. An increasing number of women have since filed civil lawsuits against Diddy, alleging similar instances of sexual assault and exploitation. These new claims have strengthened the case against him and heightened public scrutiny.
For embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, today a prominent lawyer came forward saying he intends to file more than 100 different lawsuits from alleged victims.
A new Diddy bombshell. Houston-based lawyer Tony Busby made the revelation today.
The claims we intend to bring will include the following: violent sexual assault or rape, sexual abuse, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, false imprisonment, compelling prostitution, sexual misconduct, dissemination of video recordings, false imprisonment, sexual abuse of minors.
Busby says the victims include both men and women, and he says some of them were minors.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in the—
As the investigation into Diddy's activities deepens, Jay-Z's name has surfaced in the allegations. Rumors indicate he may have been involved in these freak-offs or at least aware of them. The potential involvement of Jay-Z, a prominent figure in the music industry, adds a new dimension to the scandal.
He really has not been, I don't know, involved in anything like that, at least from what we've known. All right, keep this in mind here. But obviously, as Diddy is now, being looked at by the FBI and all these other agencies, right? The U.S. Attorney of Manhattan, I think the most logical thing going forward is that he is going to most likely try to get out of this. I think he offered a $50 million bail package, and they turned that down. Right? $50 million is nothing to this man. Nothing. Okay. But the fact that they turned that down, of course he's going to now start talking all types of crazy. But again, I have never heard anything about Jay-Z being involved in anything weird. So this is why I'm just so shocked at the entire revelation here.
Now, you might be asking, how did we get here? How did Jay-Z, one of the most powerful men in the music industry—
Diddy is reportedly cooperating with prosecutors to mitigate his charges, possibly offering information about other high-profile individuals involved in the illegal activities, including Jay-Z, one of his close associates. If Diddy can implicate Jay-Z, it could have significant repercussions for his own legal situation.
It was in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard.
To be honest, a lot of people, but the options are J-Lo, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z are some of the few specific options that people are talking about. So it's a wild accusation. The lawyer has said she has seen stills. The lawyer has said that she knows who this person is, who's representing one of the victims. And this basically means to me that other people are definitely going to be going down, and that this is going to be public knowledge real soon, is what she said. So we need to be locked, loaded and prepared for when this information gets released, because it's going to be an absolute madness. I honestly have no words for this. I didn't expect this to take place, but clearly this is what's happening.
Diddy has been denied bail twice and remains in jail as he awaits trial. His defense team argues that the prosecution is unjust and insists he is not a criminal. However, the evidence against him is considerable.
We are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. I want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. That's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly...
Comparison to R. Kelly's case is unavoidable, as both men exploited their power to abuse others. R. Kelly's conviction for racketeering and sex trafficking sets a precedent that Diddy's case may follow, underscoring the widespread issue of power abuse by influential figures in the music industry.
Between Sean Carter and R. Kelly and Diddy and R. Kelly, how didn't those two men come up in the Me Too witch hunts? R. Kelly, which everyone already knew was guilty. Big guilty. Why is no one from Me Too had anything to say about the diddler? Or Jay-Z for that matter. And we all know what came from the Me Too movement, the documentaries about Harvey Weinstein and surviving R. Kelly, which was spearheaded by Dream Hampton, who has been a pet of Sean Carter for many years, and I know he funded it.
Jay-Z's been very quiet lately.
He's quiet and in a church mouse.
The implications of this scandal extend beyond Diddy and Jay-Z, placing the entire music industry under scrutiny. Many are questioning how such behavior went unchecked for so long. The culture of silence and complicity that shielded Diddy is being dismantled, and other high-profile figures may face scrutiny as the investigation unfolds.